this film, October Baby, is as much a part of Bott Radio Network as anything else we're going to talk about. Because if we can't get the life question straight, it's pretty hard to leap on to something else. So October Baby, and we're going to have a good time. Well, where are they?
You know, they'll be up here in a minute, but you know, there's a lot of talk about media convergence and the different technologies, but I think Christian film is also part of that. And there's a lot of films that are engaging with Christian content today, and that is very much a part of proclaiming the gospel and helping to change our culture and make a difference for eternity. And this film is going to be released shortly, and I don't want to steal their thunder. I want them to tell about it.
Well, yeah, okay. They're taking a little too long.
Come on up. Yeah, but this is part of the program. Come on up. Joe, can you come too? Everybody knows you at NRB as well.
Joe Battaglia, he started out in New York, and I thought, who is this guy? John, tell us about October Baby. I tell you what, folks, this is going to really get to your heart. But I know, at my age, there's a lot of people who do many things, but what's in their heart? And when John and his family and his dad is here in this room, he was a senator from Alabama and so on and so forth. So I thought, well, okay, so he grows up and he becomes a filmmaker, so on and so forth. What's in his heart? Talk to us about this. Don't take longer than your allotted time.
I know. Well, having been raised in Alabama and being in Nashville, I think I can say, how y'all doing tonight? Are you doing well? And before I talk about October Baby, I just would like to quickly say, I know we're not here to talk, we're here to celebrate the ministries, I know, but I got to visit with Mr. Bott and had the time of my life yesterday. And I asked him, I said, what's it like to chase a dream for 50 years? How does that feel? Having just started, this being our first film. And he said, the last 50 years have been great, and the next 50 years will be even better. And that was inspiring to me, sir, and I want to say, I think from all of us, we'd all like to say congratulations. Very quickly, I don't have the clout to go over on my time, so very quickly, I just wanted to say that God shattered my heart and my brother's heart, who's here with the Irwin brothers who made the film, over an issue that we didn't expect. We discovered that two words fit together that we didn't know fit together as the words abortion and survivor. I didn't know there was such a thing. And the more I studied it, the more it shattered my heart. And the more I felt like I had to do something. I had to step off the sidelines. We were music video directors. And we had to do something about it. So we set out to make a romantic movie, a coming-of-age story about a beautiful 19-year-old girl, an entertaining movie. But from this perspective, a girl that discovers that she was adopted didn't know because she survived an attempted abortion and goes on a journey to ultimately find the power of forgiveness. And we set out to make the film. We felt like God told us to make the film, and I didn't quite know what I was getting into. And I had all my friends tell me, don't make this movie, John. Don't go there. Don't touch that subject. And as we finished the film, every studio rejected us. We were called too polarizing. We were called untouchable. But I want to tell you what I've learned over this 2-year journey. It's simply this. If God calls you to something, He's able to do whatever He's called you to. And we're standing here against all odds to tell you that October Baby is coming out nationwide on March 23rd. I don't know how that happened, but God is faithful and God is powerful and God's not short on cash. And He has provided for us and in some amazing ways. And I want to say that I'm just a filmmaker. I'm not a pastor or politician.
Peter was a fisherman.
Well, and so to see these stories of healing, I mean, last week, 2 young girls that were pregnant and set on having an abortion in 2 different cities saw the leader screen, decided to keep their child because of this movie. And that's humbling. It's mind-blowing. And beyond that, hundreds of post-abortive women have found healing in this movie. And I just feel like God is doing things far beyond me or my brother. And so instead of showing a trailer to you today, you can see that on the website, it's OctoberBabyMovie.net. I want to show you one of these stories of healing. And I want to introduce you to someone very special named Sherry. So we're going to watch a clip.
Yeah.
called Sherry's.
I was born October the 7th, 1991 at Mobile General Hospital. I guess I came here because I hope that meant something to you.
October Baby, is a story of Hannah who finds out she was adopted and didn't know because she's a survivor of an abortion. So she goes on a journey to find her birth mother. So the casting of her birth mother was very, very important. We needed a great actor, and we needed somebody who looked like Rachel, so you instantly knew when you saw her, this is her mother. And I had worked with an actor named Sherry, who was just a wonderful actor.
We did a Casting Crowns music video that won Video of the Year, and she played one of the main roles in it. And she's a longtime friend of ours. And we cast her specifically for the part of the birth mother in the movie because she looks so much like the lead actress, Rachel.
John emailed me the script, and of course I was so excited. I think I sat down that very night. I got to the point of the birth mother, and I was so overwhelmed I started crying over it because the story actually had been truly written for me, and John and Andy didn't even know my backstory at all.
And she read it and literally called me back just weeping about the script and said, "How did you know?" And we said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, 20 years ago, I was working in a law firm, which is very similar to the story. She said she was in a relationship. She found out she was pregnant, and she decided to have an abortion.
It was easier to get rid of the child, to not be questioned again, rather than to have a child and be looked upon at that time like another failure. And so many times, I think especially as young women, we carry that that burden that we're going to look like a failure, that it's shameful, and you can hide a secret for a long time of abortion unless you verbally speak about it.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows except my husband, my therapist, and some people like that. And we were blown away by that. And she said, "I feel like this is God telling me that it's time for me to share my story."
And I just remember hearing John on the other line going, "Wow," like, wow.
From the post-abortive mother, it was very important to be very sensitive to that and for this to be a healing movie for them. And so having Sherry's voice and having her play the role was just phenomenal to make sure that came across very authentic and very sensitive.
I think as we went forward and filmed her scene, she wasn't acting. I mean, it was as real as you could get. It was one of the more moving things I've ever seen.
We went into it, and I remember the cameras rolling, and I just, right as I walked into the room, I just knew that the Lord was with me, and that it was just complete healing in the moment that I slide down that door, and that I'm crying and I'm feeling that wasn't acting. That was my moment with God and Him with me to say, it's okay, it's over, and you've been forgiven.
Come on up,
Thank you for
Sherry.
having me.
Come on up, Sherry.
much. One of the things that you'll learn about me really quick is that with the way that the Lord has worked on my life is that I can cry easy, as John can attest to that, because I feel so blessed. Thank you for having me this morning, and thank you for supporting us with all that you're doing. I'm one story of millions of women and men, and what we're seeing by the power of this film is the healing and the ability for people to finally come forward. And that is something that you will all be so overwhelmed with that you won't be able to sit in your chair. I want to thank you so much for having us here this morning, and thank you to the Irwins and everyone that stood beside them and making this film. It's definitely a polarizing film to make, as you all know. And Hollywood doesn't look at it as the film that they want to put out there and support. But with your help and all of the people out there on March 23rd and getting into these movie theaters, you are the ones that are going to make a difference. And you are the ones that are going to stand behind us for all of the voices to be heard. This movie is life-affirming, and it touches the lives of adoption, a young woman on a journey that finds love and romance. It also gives the heart and shows the grace of forgiveness, and the power of it is overwhelming. When John and Andy brought this story to me, I knew it was my time. That I was able to stand up 20 years later and have a voice and know that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ had given me an opportunity. And with your support, we'll be able to do the same thing for lots and lots, millions of men and women. And to save lives, we have to make a difference, and we have to start talking to the next generation. It is time for us to get motivated, and we have got to take this war by the hand and save millions of babies, and we need to allow the men and women to be able to feel the forgiveness that have gone through this for many, many years. And once again, thank you for all that you do in the broadcast, and thank you for standing behind us, and once again, thank you for having us, Mr. Bott.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. Let's give it a